Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I hope you're doing so very well. Today I have a thrifted book haul for you. These are all from all over the place. I went shopping to charity shops and ordered a few things online. I kind of went a bit overboard, but not in the money aspect because it was actually really cheap, this haul. Just more that I bought a lot of books that I do not have space for. So yeah, I went just tad overboard. I kind of have a mix of things in here because it is thrifted. It is just a mix of everything, things that have caught my eye. So grab a drink, grab a snack. This is going to be a slightly longer video. If you're interested in any of the books, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've read them or if you want to read them. But without further ado, I'm going to get into the 19 books that I have to show you today. The first book I have is Revival by Stephen King, and I want to get into Stephen King's work, but I just don't know the most accessible way to do this. So when I see Stephen King's work in charity shops for cheap, I tend to just pick them up so that I have them and I'm not spending huge amounts of money on them. This is like a mass market paperback. It's fairly small. I actually got this for £2, which I can't complain about. In this, it says, in a small New England town in the early 60s, a shadow falls over a small boy playing with his toy soldiers. Jamie Morton looks up to see a striking man, the new minister, Charles Jacobs. Soon they forge a deep bond based on their fascination with the simple experiments in electricity. Decades later, Jamie is living a nomadic lifestyle of bar band rock and roll when he sees Jacob again. Their meeting has profound consequences for both men. Their bond becomes a pact beyond even the devil's devising, and Jamie discovers that revival has many meanings. This sounds really interesting. I hear a lot about Stephen King, but I don't hear a lot about like specific books because you kind of have to look for reviews or thoughts on certain books. But I seen this for £2, wasn't passing up the opportunity to have another King because I do plan on reading some of them soon. I do own, I think, 4, and this is my 5th one now, so I need to start getting to some Stephen King and seeing if he's even an author that I like before I buy any more. But £2, you can't complain for £2. Next, I have Hex by Thomas Old Huvelt. I don't know how to say that name. I am very sorry. I seen this on Harpies in the Trees YouTube channel and I just went on and binged their content. It's so great. And also bought myself some books because of that content. This is not the only one in this haul that is inspired by them, but this does sound really good. It says, "Welcome to Black Springs, a picturesque town with an ugly secret. A 17th century woman with sewn shut eyes and mouth walks its streets, enters its homes and watches its people when they sleep. They call her Black Rock Witch. So accustomed to her presence, the townsfolk often forget what will happen if her eyes are ever open. To protect themselves, the Black Spring elders use high-tech surveillance to quarantine the town. Frustrated with lockdown, the town's teenagers decide to break the rules and go viral with the haunting, but no one foresees the dark nightmare that awaits them. Witches, dark spooky town, quarantined because of a witch. Like, this sounds so good, and reading that synopsis just makes me want to like pick this book up immediately. But because it's whatever-a-thon, I'm trying to stick to my TBR before I start adding things on. But doesn't this just sound really good, creepy and atmospheric? Like, once I seen and heard what this was about, I automatically added it to my buy list and then I bought it. But I actually managed to get this for £5, so like including delivery, which is really good. It's normally £9, so I got £4 off and delivered to my house, so I am not complaining, and I hope I really enjoy this. Next here I have 3 books that are part of a series. I have Scarlet, Cress and Winter, and this is the Lunar Chronicles series, and the only one I need to get is Cinder, which is the first book. Of course they didn't have the first book in this series. But I believe that this has been hyped and spoken about on booktube for quite a while. I actually got all these for £1 and their spines aren't even broken. So like £3 for all 3 books. I didn't realise winter was so big, but it is. This is like fairy tale retellings, and I'm pretty sure they're AI. I'm pretty sure they're about like robots. I'm not going to read the back because this is the sequels, so I can't really read the back, but I do know that it's fairy tale retellings with robots, I believe. I do not know. I'm pretty sure like I'm pretty sure Cinder is an AI, and that's why I don't know. I suppose I will find out once I read it. I have heard loads about the series, but not like specifically about the plot. I've avoided all spoilers because I have interest in these. But £3. £3 for all 3 with no broken spines, and all I need to get now is the first one and I will have a completed set. Next, I have probably one of the biggest bargains I found. It was Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I got this hardcover for £1. And it's like, it's in really good condition as well. Like, it's not, the spine's not broken, the pages are like not coming out. Like, it feels like it's been very lightly read. So like, £1 for this. I have already read this. I gave it 4 stars. The reason that I bought it is because it was only £1 for the hardcover, but also I listened to this on audiobook and I've came to the conclusion that I do not like fantasy on audio. So I decided to pick this up physically so that when I reread it to continue the series, when I do so, I can read it physically. And I think I will get more enjoyment out of reading it physically than reading the audio, because I miss a lot of things in audiobooks when they are fantasy. I am looking forward to this. I have already read it. I am planning to pick up the series at some point once I knock off some of the series I've got going at the moment, because this is a fairly big series. I'm pretty sure it's like 8 books. But in this we follow Kellen, and it says, as his 16th birthday approaches, Kellen falls back on his cunning in a bid to avoid total disgrace. But when a daring stranger arrives in town, she challenges Kellen to take a different path. Ferius Parfax is one of the mysterious Argosy, a traveller who lives by her wits and the 3 deck of cards she carries. She's difficult and unpredictable, but she may be Kellen's only hope. And this, I really enjoyed this on audio. I did read it a while ago, so I don't remember huge amounts, which is why I bought it, because I want to reread it in physical form, and it was £1. Next, we have another hardcover. We have Broken Wings by Virginia Andrews, again, £1. Now, I hate this cover because I don't like people on the covers of things, but I'm not gonna complain for £1. The reason I bought this is because I've been snooping on like HorrorTube and seeing a lot of people's like older editions of things, and Virginia Andrews came up and there was quite a lot of books that people raved about, and I just thought, well, it was there, I seen it, I've heard of the author. I think I've read Flowers in the Attic by this author, which is a disturbing book, so I thought I would try something else. This is a part of a series, I think, actually. I think this is, it doesn't say that there's any more books in the series, but it definitely is a series. And it says, 3 girls from different worlds with one thing in common. They were born to be wild. Robin, with a mother who's more absorbed in her singing career than in her own daughter. Robin's left to her own devices when the two moved to Nashville, Tennessee. That's where her mother hopes to strike gold, and where Robin finds nothing but trouble. Teal, which is a really cute name. This little rich girl will do anything to get her parents' attention, even break the law. But after she takes things too far for the guy she adores, Teal loses their trust completely, and is treated like a prisoner in her own home. Now there may only be one way out. Phoebe. She's the girl from the wrong side of the tracks, trying to make it in a fast new crowd. She moved in with her aunt to make a fresh start, but now her biggest mistake may be to trust a charming rich boy who could ruin her life and destroy her reputation forever. Robin, Teal and Phoebe, three girls with a wild streak who are destined to come together. I do believe this is horror or like, I don't know. I do think this is horror. I'm not sure what else it is, but I am interested in it. It does sound good, and I thought what better way to sample an author than to buy them fairly cheap. And if I don't like this, I can always unhaul it. It's not a big deal, but it does sound good, and I am interested in checking out this author and seeing if I like her. Next here I have 4 books from the same author. They are all by Ruth Ware. So we have The Lion Game, One by One, In a Dark Wood, and The Turn of the Key. I got these all off of World of Books, and I think for all 4 of them I was like 12 quid, so I'm not complaining. And I have read these 2 and I still have to read these 2, but pretty much everyone knows about Ruth Ware, so I'm not going to sit here and read all 4 synopsis. I will tell you that this one follows 2 best friends that haven't spoken in years, like 10 years. One of them invites the other to a hen party. Things go awry and secrets get revealed and secrets get kept. This was fairly good and I did enjoy it. I have previously read these 2 as well. I actually did read One by One because I read it from NetGalley. But the thing is the reason that I bought all of these Ruth Ware books is because I want to go back and read all of Ruth Ware's backlist before her new release, The It Girl, comes out. So that's the reason I bought all of these. I do have also The Death of Miss Westaway, but this is the ones that I bought. I also have the Woman in Cabin 10. But these are the ones that I bought to round out the collection. The next 2 books that I have here are from Karen Slaughter. This is Kiss Cut and Blindsided, and also I managed to get these for £2 each and they're floppy. Look at the flop on this one. We love it. I love a floppy paperback. So I'm pretty sure this is part of a series. I don't think it's the Will Trent one. No. I think this is Sarah Linton is the main detective. Yes, I think this is the Sarah Linton one. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will put it on the screen. I'm pretty sure these are all different cases following the same detective throughout each book. This is the first one and the second one, and the first one says, when a teenage quarrel explodes into a deadly shootout, Sarah Linton, pediatrician and medical examiner, finds herself entangled in a horrific ordeal. What seems at first to be a terrible but individual event proves to have wilder implications when the autopsy reveals evidence of long-term abuse and ritualistic self-mutilation. I just can't talk today. I suck. As Sarah and Police Chief Jeffrey Tolliver start to investigate, a young girl is abducted and it comes clear that the first death is linked to an even more brutal crime. And unless Sarah and Jeffrey can uncover the deadly secrets the children hide, it's going to happen again. And I'm pretty sure, and again, I'm pretty sure like each book follows a different case. Yes, this one follows a different case from this one, but it all follows the same detective. I am interested in Karen Slaughter. I've heard good things. I know that she can get pretty dark, which I'm cool with. So yeah, like I'm gonna take them if I can find them. And it just so happens that I found book 1 and 2 while I was out shopping. I actually have another Karen Slaughter here. This is The Good Daughter. I don't think this is part of any series. I think this is just a standalone novel. I would read the synopsis, but there's a sticker in the way. Ooh, okay. I got the sticker off. Brilliant. Bruh. This book says, 20 years ago, Charlotte and Samantha Quinn's childhoods were destroyed by a terrifying attack on their family home. It left their mother dead, it left their father, a notorious defense attorney, devastated, and it left the family consumed by secrets from that shocking night. 20 years later, Charlie has followed in her father's footsteps to become a lawyer. But when violence comes to their hometown again, the case triggers memories she's desperately tried to suppress, because the shock and truth about the crime which destroyed her family won't stay buried forever. This sounds good. Like, again, I got it as Karen Slaughter. I got it for £3. There is no breaking on the spine. Like, it doesn't even feel like this book's being read, to be honest. So I thought the best way, again, to sample a lot of these authors' works was to pick up the second-hand, cheaper copy. And if I have any interest in picking up more of their work, then buying a new copy or their newer works won't be such a risk. So yeah, this 3 books are what I'm going to start with Karen Slaughter. The next 2 books I have here are both from Lisa Jewell. This is Watching You and The Invisible Girl, and of course Lisa Jewell is a thriller mystery writer. I do think that she writes romance now and again, but I only have interest in her thriller mysteries. It's not an author that I've read from before, but I do have it on high regard that a lot of people enjoy her work. Also, my aunt recommended quite a lot of her books, so I am down with trying them. And I think I already have The Girls by Lisa Jewell, I already own, so this is just adding to the collection. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to where these go. I think they're all standalones. Apart from The Family Upstairs, I know that has a sequel coming out. So The Invisible Girl says, you don't see her, but she sees you. Midnight, in an area of a urban wasteland where cats hunt and foxes shriek, a girl is watching. When Safri Maddox was 10, something terrible happened, and she's carried the pain of it ever since. The man she thought was going to heal her didn't, and now she hides, learning his secrets, invisible in the shadows. Owen Pick is invisible too. He's never had a girlfriend, he's never even had a friend. Nobody sees him, nobody cares. But when Safri goes missing from opposite his house on Valentine's night, suddenly the world seems to be watching Owen, accusing him, holding him responsible for Safri's disappearance. This sounds really good. It's like a stalker obsession novel, I think. Excuse my dog. She's rubbing herself up against my door and having a ball. Go. You've got 5 minutes and then I'm finished, okay? You be good. You be good. You got 5 minutes and then I'm finished, okay? Yes, you be a good girl. Yes. And next we have Watching You, and this says, you're back home after 4 years of working abroad. You're keen to find a place of your own, but for now you're crashing in your big brother's spare room, and then you meet the man next door. He's the head teacher at your local school, twice your age and extraordinarily attractive. You find yourself watching him all the time. You never dreamed that your innocent crush might become a deadly obsession. Or is that someone watching you? So like, these both sound kind of like stalker obsession novels, and it's something that I find really interesting because I find like psychology really interesting. Behavioral psychology is like, I don't know what it is, but it's just very intriguing to me. So like thrillers and mysteries about obsession, stalking, or behavior patterns really are something that I like. So I'm hoping that these fit that mold, and I will hopefully tell you if they do or not. I think there is like a common theme with this haul. A lot of it is spooky, horror, thriller, mystery, because I feel like my reading tastes are evolving. I started watching booktube about 7 years ago now, so I've been in the community for a while, and I started with like YA contemporaries that slowly twisted into YA fantasies, and then I would say in the last 4 years thrillers, mysteries have all been added in abundance. And then I would say in the last year or so I've kind of came away from the YA aspect of reading so much. I still do read YA books, I just don't read them as much as I used to, and my taste is more swaying now towards thriller, mysteries, adult romance, and still fantasy. But I feel like my tastes are changing, and this haul is like so different from the haul that I would have done like 5 years ago, but I am very excited for all these books. So the next two that I have are both by Adam Neville. This was another couple of books and author that I seen on Harpies in the Trees. I also watched No One Gets Out Alive on Netflix, which is adaptation from one of Adam Neville's books. I believe one of these or one of his other books are adapted as well, so I wanted to see how I would feel about the original work. So here I have Under a Watchful Eye and Apartment 16. Apartment 16 is the one I was really looking for, and I'm so glad I found it. So it says, some doors are better left closed. In Barrington House, an upmarket block in London, there is an empty apartment. No one goes in, no one comes out, and it's been that way for 50 years, until the night watchman hears a disturbance after midnight and investigates. What he experiences is enough to change his life forever. A young American woman, April, arrives at Barrington House. She's been left an apartment by her mysterious great aunt Lillian, who died in strange circumstances. Rumours claim that Lillian was mad, but her diary suggests she was implicated in a horrific and inexplicable event decades ago. Determined to learn something of this eccentric woman, April begins to unravel the hidden story of Barrington House. She discovers that transforming evil still inhabits the building, and the doorway to apartment 16 is a gateway to something altogether more terrifying. So I believe this is a haunted house story or a haunted apartment complex story, however you want to say that. I do believe this like follows more paranormal aspects, which I don't mind. I tend to get freaked out more about paranormal stuff than like normal day-to-day stuff, so I'm hoping this gives me a good case of the creeps. And then we have Under a Watchful Eye, and this says that Seb Logan is being watched. He just doesn't know by whom. Every time I read whom, I just think of Ross from Friends going, it's whom, not who. When the sudden appearance of a dark figure shatters Seb's idealistic coastal life, he soon realises that the murky past he thought he left behind has far from forgotten him. What's more unsettling is the strange atmosphere that engulfs him at every sighting, plunging his mind into terrifying paranoia. To be a victim without knowing the tormentor, to be despised without knowing the offence caused, to be seen by what nobody else can see, these are the thoughts which plague his every waking moment. Imprisoned by despair, Seb fears his stalker is not working alone, but rather is involved in a wider conspiracy. And once his investigation leads him to straight across the line and into mortal danger, he risks becoming another fatality in a long line of victims. So I think this is more, again, stalker obsession one. I don't know if it goes paranormal like this one does. I do think this goes paranormal. I don't think this one does. I think this is more of a stalker story. But I will see, and I will hopefully tell you what I think and whenever I get to them, hopefully soon. And finally, the last book, what feels like an eternity later, I have here is The Shining Girls by Lauren Bukes. And this, I don't know where I got this recommended from. It was another YouTube channel that I found while I was looking for horror recommendations, and I did not know HorrorTube was a thing, so I went on like the biggest binge of HorrorTube and found so many creators that I am now subscribed to and will watch every time they upload. I think I got this from one of those creators, I just can't remember who. This sounds good. It says, the girl who wouldn't die. Kirby is lucky she survived the attack. She is sure there were other victims less fortunate, but the evidence she finds is impossible. Hunting a killer who shouldn't exist, Harper stalks his shining girls through the years and cuts the spark out of them. But what if the one that got away came back for him? So I believe this is about a girl that got away from a killer and then she starts hunting the killer, which sounds really good. I don't know if this is part of a series or if this just standalone. It doesn't say that it's like part of a series or anything, so I do not know, but it does sound good and I do have hopes to get to this soon. So like I've said about every book in this haul. So that is it. That is all the books that I thrifted. I I got 20 points on my TBR game, which is the only reason I am allowed a book haul at the moment, because I'm technically on a book buying ban. The only things I'm allowed to buy are ebooks and books for video projects or for book clubs. Everything else is off limits. Oh, and pre-orders, sorry, pre-orders. Everything else is off limits. But I hit 20 points in the month of May going into June, so I was allowed to have a book haul, and I went overboard so hard that this is just my thrifted portion of my book haul. I have a whole other book haul coming out, which is more new releases, pre-orders, things that I am very excited for. So yeah, like I went way overboard. So this is the first part of one book haul, because I bought them all within a month, but this is the first part. The second part will be more pre-orders, up to date, new releases, gifts, everything like that. But that haul will probably be my last haul until the end of the year. So this is one haul, but I'm splitting it into 2 parts to make it a lot more accessible and easier and not like hours and hours long. So I thank you so very much for watching. Please let me know down below if you've read any of these, what you think of them. No spoilers, please. And let me know if you're interested in any of them. If you could pick one book that I would give you for free, which book would it be? Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Pick it up from the top, hit restart. So far it's been so